Welcome to Powered by Snowflake, a series where I interview technology leaders building applications and businesses on Snowflake. I'm your host, Daniel Myers, and today I'm talking with Matti Erkheikki, Chief Strategy Partners and Alliances at QPR Software. QPR is a process mining platform powered by Snowflake. Matti, how are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you.
So tell me more about how you got involved. How long have you been at QPR Software? And tell me in your own words, what is a process mining platform?
Yeah, sure. Happy to do that. So I've been with QPR for more than 20 years and working the whole time in the space of business process management. First decade was more about manual modeling of the business processes and doing those flow charts. And then for the last decade, I've been very much focusing on business process mining. And I have had the privilege to work with and participate in hundreds of different customer projects covering several verticals, many global leading companies like Ericsson in the telecommunication industries and Sanofi in the pharmaceuticals. So it's been fun, and now very much looking to shape the industry and see what the future of process mining will look like. And Snowflake is definitely part of that journey.
That's pretty interesting. So tell me more about, the product that you've built, and how does Snowflake fit into that broader architecture?
Sure. So maybe a little bit first giving a context of the business process mining, what it's all about. So first of all, it is all about data. So traditionally, business processes have been understood through human beings. So doing manual flow charting stuff, interviewing people, having workshop around and process walkthroughs to understand what is really happening in the operations. Now it's all about data. In process mining, we connect to the underlying operative IT systems like the ERPs and CRMs, SAPs, or Oracle, Salesforces, where everything leaves a digital footprint when something happens in the organization. So when an order is created or when the invoice is created and so forth. So we use that data to automatically visualize the business process as they have been executed in reality. And based on that fact-based insight, customers can instantly discover the biggest bottlenecks that they have in the processes, what kind of compliance deviations are happening there, and so forth. So that's what our technology does. And we've been doing that for more than 10 years already. And during that journey, what we have seen all the time happening is that when we go to new clients and the data sets are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you end up processing with complex process mining algorithms, data sets that are hundreds of millions of rows up to 1 billion. And that has been a constant challenge to us and also for our customers and the industry itself. And that's where how we entered into the Snowflake ecosystem.
That is a really cool narrative, and something that's pretty interesting to hear about how you've grown into this space, the importance of data to the business. It really seems like Snowflake is a natural fit for something that you're doing there. Tell me more about how does Snowflake fit into the broader tech stack that you've built?
So yes, absolutely. So a little bit of background there. Like I mentioned, the data amount has been growing all the time, and we have done together with the local technical university here in Helsinki some research since 2015 how to deal with that complexity. And then about 2 years ago, our R&D started looking into platforms like Snowflake. That would that be the solution going forward, taking this challenge to actually turning it into a competitive advantage and being able to process bigger data sets than anyone else in the industry today. And that's how we found Snowflake. We ran some tests comparing different products out there. And in terms of performance, Snowflake was outstanding, absolutely in its own class. So that was a clear choice. But then we also realized that it's not only the performance viewpoint, there are some other aspects to it that make this like a match made in heaven between the Snowflake platform and QPR Process Analyzer, our process mining product. Things like overall the vision that companies will bring all their operative IT data into one cloud platform that we can then instantly connect to and provide this process visualization and the related business insight. Then, of course, it's already a given security platform in place, and there's no duplication of data, no need to do separate data governance, etc. And then looking into the future, I see the data sharing being one of the key aspects that will shape the industry. Being in this industry for more than 20 years, I can remember the early days when people were already dreaming of looking at the entire end-to-end process change between the supplier and customer relationships. And that's now reality today in the Snowflake data cloud, when we can actually connect to the data from multiple different companies and build that understanding of the entire end-to-end process chain.
So this is pretty impressive. Can we see a demo and a broader architecture of how this is actually working?
Oh, absolutely. So when we look at this architecture here, so like I said, we are utilizing the data in customers' operative IT systems. So whether it's SAP, Salesforce, ServiceNow type of solutions, and existing Snowflake customers, they already have the data pipelines in place. So they are almost real time moving that data into the data cloud. And what we can then do with our cloud service is that we provide a very intuitive and no-code environment for the business users to analyze the business processes and configure their own KPIs and business rule, etc. So the user is sending this process mining analysis requests to our own application, which is then translating this into native SQL queries that Snowflake understands, and all the processing of big data volumes is happening in the Snowflake data cloud, and it's returning the results of the algorithms and calculations through our own service into the user interface instantly. And this all happens in fraction of time, regardless of how big data volumes we are talking about.
So I love this architecture, and I love how you're able to leverage Snowflake in this way that really makes and simplifies the architecture that you've developed. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Yes, indeed. And the beauty behind is that a few years back, we developed our own programming language that is specifically designed for process mining specific kind of queries and algorithms. But on top of that, we have a no-code configuration layer designed for business users, which I will show you in the demo shortly, where you can actually configure any kind of view and analysis you ever need, and that's then automatically translated to SQL queries and the processing done in Snowflake. Okay, so let's look at the QPR Process Analyzer in action. So I have now logged into the cloud service, and before going into the details, I want to just quickly show you the type of data that we are utilizing from those systems and processing in Snowflake. So this is the typical data set or the required stuff for process mining. We have the case ID defining the process that we are analyzing, which in this example is the sales order number. Then there are the different process steps happening for that particular sales order and the related timestamp. So using this type of transactional event data, our product is then automatically visualizing the process, how it's been executed in reality. And in this visualization, we can also see some performance data included. So how many cases are going through different process steps, how long does it take to move from one step to another on average or median, depending on the settings. Here, we can easily adjust the level of details that we are showing. This is based on process variation. So if I switch to 1, this is the most common variation, the typical way of processing a sales order in a manufacturing company. on the right hand side, I can also take a list of those most common variations to see that, okay, it's not very well standardized process as there are this many different kind of unique end-to-end chains taking place, and you can also see some of the key performance information regarding the different variations that are there. But with this plus sign, I can easily add more details to the flowchart and see the different variations, and the complexity is growing. And obviously, if we go, for instance, to 100 most common variations, you start to understand the complexity of the business processes in reality. So all kind of deviations and exceptions are happening due to our internal actions or based on customer requests. And then all these other analyses here are helping the customer to make sense of this and understand where the problems really are, and what are the potential root causes of those. So for instance, in this type of event type, quickly see in a table format that what are the different process steps that are existing there and how often they occur, etc. Also the flow chart, we have multiple ready available viewpoints. So for instance, if I switch to an automation view, now you can instantly see how often are these different events done automatically. And we see that the highest automation rate is in the invoice creation. Almost 71% of the times the invoice is being created automatically. But in terms of shipments, we hardly have any automation in place, only 0.3%, so forth. So you can switch between different predefined views on both sides. And of course, we also extend the data so that instead of just having the event level data, we can upload as much attribute data as there is available, and then use that, for instance, for filtering. So here are the different countries where these orders have been processed, and if I'm now interested to see how the process goes in the US business, I'll just click on the US, and then the visualization is instantly updated to reflect the selection of the cases that I made. And of course, you could go also to customer level, picking up just a few of the biggest clients, and then analyze these particular cases. So you see the filter rules are then documented up here, and you can easily go and change the selections there if needed. This is just like the basic thing what the process mining is based on. But then, of course, when we do discovery here, it's important to be able to get deeper. One way to do that, and what we provide to our clients, is that you can execute a so-called automated root cause analysis. So now from the flowchart, I discovered that there is this type of event happening where the sales order and the net price there is changed afterwards. So this, first of all, is obviously rework, and things have not happened first time right. So I might want to know what is causing this. So all I need to do, I'll just click on it, and instead of creating a filter, I can use this as a root cause criteria and change into a root cause analysis. This kind of analysis is instantly prepared, and what the product does there, it goes through all the different attributes that we have and highlights the ones that are mostly contributing to my selection. So what we can instantly see from here is that in our Indian business, the sales order change is much more common than on average. On average, we have it in 17% of the sales orders, but in India, it's almost in every second. So I can further drill down from here, just looking at the Indian orders, and we can see that, okay, there are already some customer names popping up. 90% of the orders from this big client in our Indian business, we need to change the price afterwards, and which is potentially causing some delays, etc. And some other customer names are also coming. So with a few clicks, you can instantly drill down to the potential root causes instead of you as a user having the need to go through the attributes and try to find and understand the correlations and dependencies on your own. One thing, of course, that I could still show from the software is that this is insight about the process, but then what is the value out of it? And we can definitely take this further than what I showed so far. So one thing is to be able to convert these findings and potential problems and bottlenecks into monetary value. So I have an example here regarding these price changes developed. You can simply in minutes build any kind of dashboards for specific topics that you want to follow up continuously and so forth. You can easily use QPR Personalizer to build any kind of custom dashboard and views, as I have here now open this price changes specific ready view from where we can see now a little bit same stuff that we already looked at earlier, really translating this problem in the process that may look like a small into business potential. So in this table, what you can, for instance, see that when we do a price change on an order, it seems to have an impact on the lead time. So this is now by countries, but we can see that in every place, the ability to deliver the goods and invoice them is lowered by this kind of a rework and in the ordering process. So it has a negative impact on the delivery capability, and alone itself is waste. So using different parameters here, you can also then instantly translate this to monetary savings. So this is a combination of the extra work and then also the working capital that is tied due to this extended lead time.
So, Matti, in this platform, can you tell me more about the types of data that you're storing inside of Snowflake?
Yes, absolutely. So basically, as you probably remember from the architecture picture, so we are providing the insight and analytics, and this data comes from our customers. So it comes from their operative IT systems, and they might have already uploaded it automatically to Snowflake, and then we can just plug in and start doing the analysis instantly. If that's not the case yet, then obviously we can plug into those source systems and use QPR Process Analyzer as a pipeline to upload the data into the Snowflake data cloud. But in order to do this analytics, the data needs to be in the data cloud because we are sending all these queries and calculations against the Snowflake platform.
Tell me more about how you ended up choosing Snowflake as the data cloud. You mentioned a few of the key features there, but was there a certain process that you followed or criteria that you were looking for when evaluating Snowflake and comparing it to others in the industry?
In the beginning, the main criteria was the performance view. To find a technology and platform that can provide the scalability and capacity to do this kind of interactive processing with complex queries for raw data amounts that can exceed 1 billion rows in some large organization. But like mentioned, that was really the most important criteria in the beginning, and that's where Snowflake really stood out from the rest. But then it was also the ease of use. Like for our developers, it was really straightforward and easy to start converting these queries into the SQL queries that Snowflake understands, and then also the availability of the warehouses and how quickly they can be triggered on the need basis. And it simply works, let's put it this way. And it was really easy to start, and the development journey has been quick. We have already seen also things that in Snowflake that have accelerated our time to market. So allowing some new features to be developed faster, or some things have been possible that was considered, well, not impossible, but from the effort point of view, not realistic to be implemented.
I love that. I mean, hearing about how performance has been a key tenet of consideration for you and your company, that's important to have. And then two, the feature set that Snowflake provides has been able to really provide that acceleration of velocity of feature development for you and your product. So that's really cool to hear. So, Matti, what should your customers get really excited about over the next 6 to 12 months? What's coming down the road line?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think what process mining has been already used for quite some time is also the prediction stuff. But now it's very much focused on individual case level prediction, like predicting whether an order will be delivered on time or so. So what we are really looking into now is moving that more on a logical level and longer horizon into the future. That what kind of problems business leaders might be facing in the coming 3 weeks or 3 months, depending on the industry and process you're operating. But the value of that kind of insight for business leaders is tremendous if they can get notified in advance that, hey, unless you change something or focus on some specific area of your business, you will be facing this kind of issues in the near future. It's priceless information, and that's what we are really researching currently and looking the Snowflake and the Snowpark with Python providing the tools and the scalability to execute that kind of analysis is almost in real time. So that's what I'm excited, and I'm sure many of the customers should become really excited because the value can and will be tremendous.
So, Matti, where should people go to learn more about you and your company?
It's definitely our website, QPR.com. There we have a lot of valuable content, not only about our QPR Process Analyzer product, but also about process mining methodology. If that's something that you are not yet so familiar, and what is the value for your organization using our platform powered by Snowflake Data Cloud.
And thank you to everyone watching. To see more interviews like this with technology leaders building applications on Snowflake, check out our other videos on YouTube and be sure to subscribe. My name is Daniel Myers, and this has been another episode of Powered by Snowflake.